4, 3, 2, 1.
What they want, who they meet, who they watch, what they want.
What was that in the world? This your boy Body by Shotty, man. And y'all, we got a special one tonight. All right, y'all been asking for change. Well, change is here. All right, and here is change. All right, and we ain't talking about the dingly things in your pocket. So tonight, bro, we got, we know we got the chorus up top. We got Noon Cat in the building, man. Mr. Noon Cat, aka Mr. David Ruffin. Me, Body by Shotty, and look to the left we have the new head coach at Hahnville Mighty High School. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Greg Barnes. Appreciate you for coming on the show, man. We're gonna have a nice little time. We're gonna ask some questions and vibe with you for a little bit, man. Just let everybody know that, you are one of us. You are one of us. You're a Hahnvillian. I don't even know if that's a name.
We'll make it up.
We good at that now. Yep. We'll make us some stuff. We'll make us some stuff right now. But now we have you in studio, and we blessed to have you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations on the job. Congratulations on the job.
Thank you.
First of all, congratulations, man. And we appreciate you for coming through, man. You came through one message, and look, you came through, and I think everybody around the way, man, especially on the other side of the river. Well, you well known on the other side, unfortunately already, but everybody on the other side, I think is going to enjoy this and kind of get to know you.
Good. Looking forward to it.
So, we're just going to get into this intro, man. Like, just tell us about Greg BOYNE outside of coaching. Just tell us about the man, Greg BOYNE.
Mainly outside of coaching, I had 3 kids. Married to my wife Shannon since 2000, so almost 24 years. 3 kids. Tyler is 21, Riley's 19, and Cameron is 18. So I spend a lot of time. Ty played baseball at Destrehan and then Delgado, and my middle one, Riley, is playing volleyball at UL Monroe, and my youngest is a senior at Destrehan. So that keeps me pretty busy.
So let the people know, where are you from?
I grew up on Oak Street in Hahnville, on the West Bank. Born and raised, I still live in Fashion off the River Road in Hahnville. So for 51 years, I've been on West Bank. I've been St. Charles Parish and this side of the river. Like you said, I think a lot of people. I was at Destrehan for 20 years, so obviously a lot of people, a lot of all younger people consider me a Destrehan person. But there's some garnet and gray, but it's purple and gold.
We look at you a little funny too.
Yeah, we got to get to the sideline, man. Because you've been going for a long time. You leave somewhere. You leave Louisiana after a while, you start to lose that accent.
Sure.
So you've been on East Bank.
I haven't lost that.
Yeah. But you've been on East Bank a little while, man. Yep. So you lost. We gotta get you back with that West Bank accent.
It's not gonna take long.
So, like you said, you've been at Destrehan for 20 years. So, tell us about your coaching background. I know, from what I'm correct, you were at West Jeff before Destrehan, right? Was it West Jeff?
I was. I actually started in 1997 at J.B. Martin. Had probably one of the best collections of middle school talent in the history of this parish, for sure. I left in 99 to go to Destrehan. First football season was 2000. And the kids that I had at JB were those guys that won the state championship in 2003. Craig Turner, Christian Populous, Brett Knockin, Cripolano. Look, we won. We broke, and don't tell Vi I told y'all this, because he still says it didn't happen. We broke Coach Vial's winning streak. We beat Ewell Landry 7-6, and that was, look, when those kids combined with you guys from Ewell Landry, Darius and that group, that was the group that put Hahnville back on the map for the first time since the early 90s. Mm-hmm. That group was the core, and that's what made me fall in love with coaching. That group of kids did everything. I coached them football, basketball, baseball. Everybody in middle school plays pretty much everything, track. And that group is what, it made me realize that this was something that I wanted to do. So from there, I got a job. Coach Bowden actually had a spot, but he didn't know what teaching spot. And Coach Robichaux, they both got the job at the same time in 2000. And Coach Robichaux was able to say, look, I have a spot, come now. I taught civics for 5 or 6 years, coach freshman. My first year. So, I did it the old way. I middle school first, then freshman football. Then coach said, all right, I trust you to coach my running backs. Had a real good group of running backs. That was the team that Fred Smith and those guys in the early 2000s. And one thing people don't realize for those, and as a young coach, I'm starting to learn, right from wrong. And Coach Robichaux obviously is going to be a Hall of Fame coach. Taught me a lot, my mentor. But for those first 4 years, we didn't win a playoff game. 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. They had a team by the name of Evangel that y'all know was pretty dang good back then. And West Monroe, we lost to Evangel 3 times.
It was either one of them two.
Yeah. And so those first 4 years was a learning experience because Coach Robichaux never panicked. We had a lot of success in the regular season, but in the first round, we just couldn't get over that hump. So we adjusted some things and adapted. We went sit down with the coaches at LSU and asked them. 2004 was when I started in the weight room at Destrehan, and we went sit down with Coach Moffitt, who's famous in the collegiate weightlifting world. He's actually from Curtis, and he gave us his whole program. He gave us everything he did at Curtis, and then brought to LSU. And that was 2004. So if you do the math, that was when Jordan Jefferson and Damaris and Tim Moulton were freshmen. I see you. But that's when they were freshmen. And look, I'm not saying it's me because it was me and Coach Robe, and we put a plan in place. But those kids were talented, and they took what we were giving them, and they ran with it. They 5, 6, 7. If you do the math, by the time they got to 2007, probably the best collection of talent in high school football, maybe in Louisiana history. That 07, 08 group. And just some hardworking kids. But like I said, as a coaching staff and as a young coach, it showed me a lot that Coach Robichaux never panicked. We kept in place the things we were doing. The discipline and the structure in the program was always there. We just amped it up. We kept doing the same things, but we started pushing. We kind of figured out, we were doing things, but we weren't doing it to the highest level. And once we started doing that, again, the talent was always there. Fred Smith and Joe Beanie, and we had tons of players on Badaro Richard, Chaz Washington. The name, I could go. I hate naming names because I always
you can't. It's cool because I literally
we played against those people.
We had a show when we named those guys. We had
But I just don't want to forget somebody because my phone will start ringing off the hook.
They're gonna see this too.
Yeah,
they're gonna see this.
So that gets us to 07, 08, and I actually left in 07. I thought I wanted to go into sales. I went work for LAS, Fight the Uglies, the siding and windows and shutters. After about 3 weeks, I missed coaching. I was after the state championship in 07. I was younger, and Coach Robichaux filled my spot. So I started looking, and Coach Scott, which it's very weird how things worked out, but Coach Scott was a new head coach at West Jeff in 08, and he was looking for a coordinator. It was something I always wanted to do. I had gotten to that point in my career where I thought I was ready. And so he was a first-year head coach. Coach Miller was a first-year DC, and I was a first-year coordinator. And what really opened my eyes, and I talked about this in the interview, when I got to West Jeff, Coach Hank Tierney had been the head coach, so there was some structure. But Coach Scott was new, like I said, and he sat down. We spoke for hours, days. What did y'all do at Destrehan? I want to do exactly what Coach Robichaux had in place, and still those, the structure, the discipline. So what opened again my eyes, like I said, a learning experience. Those 4 years with him, I saw everything we had in place at Destrehan go into a school like that, where a lot of those kids, they have to take 2 city buses to get to practice, to get to school. It's a different world. I tell
them all the time
you're living it right now. And
I talk to everybody all the time.
The thing I found out, a lot of those kids, that's all they have. That the football, they come to school and they do well in school, but it's all to get to 2:30. It's all to get to that practice, and it means that much to them. So again, 4 years we beat, we beat St. Aug 59-56. That guy by the name of Matthew was the safety, and a guy by the name of Leonard Fournette was a running back, and we beat them 59-56 on the last second field goal. We beat Rummel. We beat Jesuit. We beat Brother Martin. We beat the team. We were in the Catholic League those years. I don't know if y'all remember the district then was weird during
I
that
remember
time.
like on what? Because I played. I was coaching when Leonard Fournette ran through Hahnville. I mean,
I
Hahnville, he
remember
ran
that.
through us
I
about
remember
again.
that. Yep. He
Look,
was
trust me,
unbelievable.
I
But
know all about it.
those
But
those
go
those
on.
4 years, showed me that the things we were doing at Destrehan for those early years, I mean, it works. It works anywhere. If you give kids something to believe in and hold on to, even those kids, they didn't mind on a Monday of Labor Day getting on that bus 2 times to come to practice. That it was something they wanted to do. So those 4 years were awesome. Help. I think they helped make me the coach that I am today. Coach Robichaux had taken a little retirement. He came back in 12, and he called me and said, "Look, I've seen what you've done. I'm going back. I want you to come back." And then kind of the same thing. If we took a few licks in 12 when we came back. Another great battle with Hahnville that we lost at the end in overtime. But then from there, 13, 14, that 14 team that went to the Dome was super talented. Will Matthews and that group, 15, and the Dome years kind of stick in your head, but I think the losses do as well. Coaches always say you learn a lot more from losses, and as I've gotten older, I definitely believe that. Obviously you remember the big ones, but you also remember the close losses to the Zacharys and those teams that give you the loss. So that's up until now, up until last season, I've been fortunate to work for another guy that I think is, Coach Scott and I reunited, and I think he's two coaches I've worked with under both potential Hall of Famers. So I've been blessed, tons of talent that I've had through the years, and the consistent thing is the discipline, the structure, and kids, like I said, want to work hard. They want to have things like that in place. They want to do the right things. I can see it in these kids' eyes at Hahnville. I think they want to have success. They want to be pushed. We had our first off-season work today, and you can see it. They want to be pushed. I mean, they were hurting. They were in some pain and they were cramping, but they kept pushing through. So I think if you do the right things, I think good things happen.
Yeah. So, Coach, you kind of ran through a few of the questions that I had, because one of the questions that I had actually after was, what's your philosophy and what do you feel are your strengths? For you to say,
I think the big thing philosophy-wise is I think and I just talked to Coach Gales from RK a little while ago. I think if you do right by kids, I think if y'all know the old saying, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I think there's a lot to be said for that.
And it's good. It's good that you say that, right? Because I told Noonan one of my biggest things I learned this year as a coach in that system and where we at now in Jefferson Parish is, if you are a man of your word, no matter what it is, them kids will run through a wall for you. But you only get one time. Especially over there. Like, you only get one time to not be there for them or not be what you say you are and what you show them daily.
Once you lose that trust.
Once you lose that, it's a wrap for you. Like, they don't want to talk to you at practice no more. Like, they'll notice little stuff like that.
Yep.
So it trickles down to the game where
it does.
They're toning you out. It's going through one and out the other. They're not applying what you're teaching them. Yep. And I learned that, bro. I learned that I had one situation where I didn't, and it changed me, and it changed my coaching career forever.
So Shadi and I, we actually interviewed some of his players, right before the playoffs. And it was the first time they made the playoffs in how long? Like 10 years maybe? Yep. Yeah. So we kind of interviewed them. I asked them, what was the difference? And they always saying, is they felt motivated. They were saying Shadi helped motivate him himself. He kind of made him want to come to football practice, to where in the years before, it was just like, it wasn't fun. So that was the thing. And like I said, you brought your philosophy, and also you kind of got to it. Also, another question I was going to ask, well, how do you motivate these kids? Because I'm going to tell you right now, and it all kind of links into each other. The kids these days, man, it's a lot different from when you first started.
Absolutely.
I mean, totally different. So the kids, because I'm going to say this, when I came into Hahnville in 04. I graduated in 08. I played against the Myers and the Jordan Jeffersons and all that. Yeah. when they cheated us. We'll get to that later though. But
First of all,
but
the ball was snapped. It was a pre-snap penalty.
oh man, hey, listen, we got a couple more calls we got to talk about, but like I said, when I came into Hahnville, man, it was we just came off a state championship.
Right.
You know, so that's nothing that a eighth grade kid that's gonna motivate eighth grade kids to want to play for Hahnville. And you coming up with state championship at that time, 35,000 people in the dome was the record. You know, we watched them beat Evangel, who was a juggernaut at that time.
Football game.
You know, so that motivated me to want to go to Hahnville. So you know, I played. I started my sophomore year. We made it to the senior, so I was one game away from us going to the state championship. And I always had that motivation just from just being in middle school at the time. Even when we had LaRon Landry and 2-3 and all those dudes, we lose in the quarterfinals or something.
Right.
But we knew that Hahnville was competitive. We knew that Hahnville wasn't losing at home. So now it's kind of different for these kids because we've been on a kind of losing end lately, and it's like there's nothing really for them to look up to.
Sure.
To play football. And
contagious. Yep.
Yeah, and just like you just said, when it's contagious. So if you look at it, there's a lot of kids, and you don't notice. You've been 2 weeks. You've been at home now.
Pretty much. Yep.
Okay, so you
official day.
So you gonna notice when you're walking through those halls, you're gonna see this kid who's 6'2", and look at him like I don't recognize him. That kid doesn't play football. Right. That kid is a basketball player. You know, and we have a lot of that at Hahnville right now. A lot of kids. Why? Because for the past 5-6 years, Hahnville High basketball has been the premier sport in Hahnville High School. That's where all of the attention has been. So, you know, we have a lot of guys who started off playing football and basketball, but they got to Hahnville and they weren't motivated to keep playing football, you know, because we were losing at the time. Right. And they wouldn't play football. So I think that's one thing, Coach, I think you got to do your best at is trying to motivate these kids. Like, play 2 sports, man. Play football, play basketball. And when I found out you got the job, a couple kids I know, I coached recreation a few years back, and a lot of my kids, and I think that's the reason I'm so invested right now into which I always have been. I'm telling you right now, I've been watching Hahnville High's football since like 97, 98, you know, but even in college, I was coming home from Hammond on Fridays just coming to games, you know, in 09, 010. But I think right now it's other than my nephew. My nephew was there a few years ago, but now it's like all my kids that I coach, they're all either upcoming freshmen in the 8th grade right now, or they're freshmen, or they're sophomore right now. So I think that's probably been my thing that I've been super invested into Hahnville High School the past few years, because I know that those are my guys who are there now. Right. And I got a lot of them, man, like over a handful that talking big guys who quit and I only play basketball right now. And when you got the job, look, I hit them up. Look, man, y'all got a new coach. Go back out there. Go try out. I promise you, you know, this kid, I know a kid, he's 6'2". You know, he's I think he's a freshman right now. And he's no longer playing football. Go back out there. Give this new coach a chance, man. I promise you, it'll make a lot of difference from you just playing basketball. You never know what can happen in football. So, right. You know, so got a couple of them like, coach, we're gonna try. So I'm gonna check back on them and make sure that they, you know, they kept on to their promise. But like I said, that's the thing you said about motivating. That's the thing I think is gonna be a major milestone if you can get that. If you get those kids back from just, you know, I'm just gonna play basketball, so I'm gonna play basketball and football. I think that'll help you all also, and it'll be a big milestone for you in your coaching career at Hahnville, however long you have left.
Right. I definitely, you know, I think kids, you know, I think they're gonna stick with a winner, you know, and like you said, that's been the premier program. So I think that numbers are real high. Baseball's got 53 guys, you know, which is a huge amount of kids on the baseball program. So we want those 2-sport guys, a bunch of track guys. You know, we want those 2-sport guys, 3-sport guys, which is very rare these days. Y'all know that, but we embrace them. I've talked to probably 15, 20 kids today at lunch that, you know, came shake my hand and said, Coach, I'm coming back out as soon as basketball is done, as soon as baseball is done. So the guy, I don't know if it's the guys you talking about, but quite a few of them are taller than me. I'm right at 6'2", so I'm sure a couple of them are. And I went and watched probably 4 or 5 basketball games through the year, last couple of weeks, and that's some good looking kids. You know, very athletic, not just tall, but, you know, put together. You know, and look, I'm a weight room guy at heart. You know, since 2004, that's been my
Me
baby
too.
across the river. Coach Taffy and myself. And it's going to start in the weight room, you know, so they may not all be able to, handle. We're going to push the kids. We're going to coach them hard. We're going to work them hard. And it's going to start in the weight room and the after school program. And the ones that can handle the structure, we more than happy to have them out, you know, and the ones that can, embrace the discipline. Like I told the kids, I can't stand here and say we're going to win a state championship, but we're going to do the things that I know it takes to get there. And then from there, y'all know you need a little luck. You need a little things to go your way. But I think we're going to put the things in place that the kids will embrace.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
I'm glad you said though, because like I'm the same way for us. You gotta put in the grind first.
Yep.
You gotta put in that. You gotta put in that leg work.
You can't cheat it. Yep.
And I'm big into, and I've been like this since I've been doing this forever. I always say I don't train high school kids like high school kids. I train high school kids on a college NFL program. You gotta have that. You gotta have that mental and that physical capacity to even take this if you want to take it to that next level. It's a lot of kids that don't make it in my stuff. They'll tell you body by shot is crazy. But like I said, if you can get through this, high school will be a breeze for you.
Right.
It's gonna be so much more advanced. It's like teaching my D lineman left hand, right handed stance. Like you have to learn that with me. Like I don't care what you are, I don't care what you've been taught. We're gonna start from this, the ground up. Don't come here telling me you're uncomfortable this way. You're gonna learn it.
Yeah. Like, you might have to play the opposite side.
Yeah. Either way, and I always try to tell them the more you can do, the more money you can make. So don't sit there and try to limit yourself as a player and tell me this all you can do. No, you're gonna do it all. If I feel like this gonna benefit you, right? You know what I'm saying? Then this is what we're gonna learn. And I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna take the time to teach your ass. This is what it is. And then after that, then we work from there. But
right.
I'm
Start
glad
with
you
the
said
base.
that. Oh yeah.
So,
Hold on.
So like you say, well, we get into that strength program. A lot of those kids, they haven't dealt with it. You know, I'm gonna say I don't know exactly how you run your strength program, but just from the way you're talking from the early 2000s, I know it's that old school weight training conditioning that I did probably shot. It's all the same. So and I think that's kind of what we need these days, man. Those the resistant bands and all of that. Nah, get all that out. Like we need free weights, dumbbells. Just hitting that on to your muscle stretch. And
the number one thing. I'm gonna be real. The number one thing when it comes down to weightlifting that people overlook, and it's so simple. It's the smallest stuff. The smallest thing that people overlook, they think it's really about the lifting the weight. It really not. It ain't about the getting in there lifting heavy weights. It's about the competition of it.
Yeah. The mindset. Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's why you start to get that mental strength. It's about the competition of going to the weight room knowing that. And you've been in our spots with the kids, with all the kids we done trained with. Yeah. If you're doing 20, how much we gotta do?
That's right. We gotta do more. That's always made it like it's always made it fun. Like I said, we had a little thing where we worked out with the kids. We all worked out together, and we were always trying to outdo each other. Same thing in high school. We always tried to outdo each other. Everybody wants to do one more, two more. You push your brother, man. Come on, we got 5 sit-ups left. We have 5 crunches left. Push, go, go, go. So I think that's gonna play a major part, Coach. You get the top guys to feed into it, and guess what? They're gonna uplift everybody else. So I mean, I hope. Hey, listen, I hope you bring it back to him, bring that old school grind to him. I think that's exactly what we need over there right now.
That's the plan. Old school mentality with a new school approach is what I tell them. It's funny that Shadi mentioned compete because, like I said, today was our first off-season workout. We had probably 65, 70 kids with and
that's good.
What I liked, and I just sent a message to the guys on Huddle. What I liked, at the beginning they were kind of feeling it out. They were going hard when we were pushing the sleds and flipping the tires and all the stuff that everybody does. But I told them, look, the intensity's got to pick up. We took a little break. Told them the intensity's got to pick up. But what I really liked at the end, we did a competition where they had to throw the tire, flip the tire, push the sled, going against somebody. And that's why you said compete. And that's what I told them from the first day. There's going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser. You got to be able to handle both. You lost today, but you got to come back Wednesday and your group's got to win. And I heard a little receiver at the end of the day, he was doing push-ups because his group lost. And he said, man, we ain't losing Wednesday. And I said, that's exactly the mindset that we got to take. That right there, I didn't even know the kid. I don't even know half of that name right now.
Yeah.
But it caught my attention because he kind of understood what I was saying. Yes, you might have a setback, you might lose, but it's how you respond the next time. What are you going to do Wednesday? And he's doing those push-ups, and he said, man, we ain't losing Wednesday. So I was like, somebody, at least one so far, is kind of getting the gist of what I'm trying to tell them. We're going to compete. Sometimes when you compete, you don't do well, but how do you respond? It's just like in life. You're not always going to have everything go your way.
They always say football. They always say football got buku life skills in it. You just got to pick the jewels, right?
Absolutely, that's a good saying. Yep.
It's real.
A lot of those kids don't understand that some of those guys on side of them, they will never forget them. It's going to be their best friends for the rest of their lives. They don't understand yet that no matter if they win the state championship the last game or if they're losing the first round or they don't make the playoff, they're going to forever remember that last game.
You nailed it. Yep.
They forever gonna remember that last game. They're gonna forever. They'll be 33, like me sitting down with one of my friends, one of my old, and guess what? We sitting there talking.
Right.
Shot it, Brian Lee, myself, Dale. We've all played for Hahnville High. We've all said that, talked about our last games and things of that sort. So that's one thing I always try to do. I always try to tell them, like, look, y'all don't understand now because y'all young. But I've been there before. I'm not that much older than y'all. I grew up with a lot of y'all. I've coached y'all. I know y'all parents. I've been there before, so I can tell you exactly how it's going to go. So,
and they still have to experience it. We can tell them, but they still have to. They still have to go through it. And that's part of to me, the fun part of coaching is watching a kid come in, from 8th grade, 9th grade, and grow and develop. Accept. I talked to them today about. Basically, coaching is a blind trust. I need you to trust me. You don't know me. I've been here for a week, but I need you to trust what I'm telling you, and I'm going to trust you. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the profession about more than just wins and losses. It's about developing kids. They were out there today. I told them, I said, you were pushing a sled just because I asked you to. Like I said, you don't even know me, but you know that I told you that I could help get you better, and you were pushing that sled back and forth for 40 minutes, flipping those tires. For no other reason than because this man said, trust me, some belief in what we're trying to get them to do. And to me, that's powerful. They're
gonna ride with you as long as you are who you show them you are.
That's right.
You show them that from the jump and you stand on it and be that man consistently. Consistency is the key too. If you consistently who you are with these kids, they're gonna run through a wall for you, bro. They're gonna run through a wall for you, and that's just how they are. That's why they love me so much out here, because I don't play no games with them. I will tell them straight up, like, you doing some dumb, you effing up.
Right.
Like, mama called, like, look here, let's go. I got them for you type of, like, but I'm never going to sugarcoat it with them neither. And you can't give it to them soft. Like, I'm not going to sit you and what they say, pacify you, like the old head said. Yeah. I'm not going to sit you and pacify. I'm going to give it to you the real, because the world ain't going to take it easy on you neither. When you get out there in the real world, the world not going to take it easy. These streets ain't taking it easy on these kids. Nobody is. So don't expect me to do it neither. Especially when I'm trying to, you can get your mama out of the projects with this talent. You can get your, like, you can change generational curses. Like, it's a lot that goes on with this small little thing called discipline and work ethic, bro. And I try to I push that and pump that into them kids I coach, bro.
Yeah. So, coach, so you talked about the weight program. Like I said, hopefully that pans out. So, a year or two, the kids that you see looking up at you, that you looking up at, they pan out and they spread out in the right ways. But so you here, you got the job, you've already started. Like, are there any new coaches that you got coming aboard? Any new coaches that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, high school's a little different. A lot of people see what happens in the NFL and college when a new head coach comes in and you flip the staff. But y'all know in high school, that's tough. First of all, I met with each of the staff last week one-on-one, and I really think it's a good staff. I think they want to be motivated. I think they want to be pushed. They kind of, there's some young guys that came from different places, different backgrounds. I think they want to. They kind of like the kids. I think they want to be pushed in the right direction. So that's the first thing. Brought in one guy so far. There's not a lot of teaching openings. So again, that's kind of that's part of it at the high school level. Coach Scobell, whose background, he was with us at Destrehan in 1819. So it's crazy. So in 18, I don't know if y'all remember, that was a game we lost to Zachary 67-57 in the semifinals.
That's why I remember that.
Craziest game I've ever been a part of. So we lose. So, in the hallway after the game, he's standing there shaking his head, and he's like, Coach, I'm sorry. I said, Coach, I've been doing this long, and you have too. It's not, the game just was like that, back and forth. He's like, yeah, but we scored 57, we should win. And I said, look, again, I'm not, he thought I was mad. Fast forward a year, we go to the Dome in 19. We lose 8-6, I think it was, to Acadiana. So completely opposite end of the spectrum. So I said, look, I'm going to apologize just because you did it last night. We didn't carry our win tonight. But at the same time, that's football. That's, some nights it's going to be your night on offense, some nights on defense. But his background is Shaw. Y'all know Coach Tierney. He's been a head coach at Covington, head coach at Slidell.
Coach, he back over that now.
What's that?
Over that now.
Yeah, and he turned it around in 2 years. So this guy, Coach Scobell, has, he kind of thinks like me, like came up under somebody that was a little bit old school. So he knows the structure, the discipline, the hard work has got to be the root of the program, caring about the kids. And then the football part is almost fifth, when you think about you add the classroom part and that part that's going to come. But he was my first hire because I know how he feels about kids. I know he thinks player development is one, and coach development is two. And he's willing. He was, like I said, he was a head coach, resigned because he didn't really like the direction his program was going. He's not a big ego guy. He didn't just stay on as the head coach at Slidell to be a head coach. He said, all right, this program's not going the way I want. I think I'd be better suited as a DC. So when I called, he was like, I'm there. Tell me what day. Tell me what time. I'm ready to start. He's been there. He's been there every day so far. It hasn't even really officially been hired. He's the type of guy that'll sleep with an air mattress in the defensive staff room. Literally, not just saying that. That's he's that old school. Friday night he'll sleep there, so he's there early Saturday. He and I kind of got into a little competition when he was at Destrehan who could get there earliest. So he started with the air mattress, and I said, "You win." I got to get my 5-6 hours of sleep. I can't.
Well, my wife not having that.
So we kind of ping pong a little back, Coach. Earlier you were talking about you coaching at middle school. And I think we all know that's been a big gap from the East Bank and the West Bank of St. Charles Parish the past few years. And we all think the reason for that gap has all been recreation football. Recreation football we haven't really been having recreation football on our side of the river. And even when we didn't have it on the other side of the river, that was travel ball and everything of that sort on that side. So, and like I said, that was, and I told you I coached a lot of the guys that you have now. That was the biggest reason for me going and coaching for those years that I coached because we didn't have a team. I'm from Cologne, so Cologne home we used it together, and we had a few kids, man, 6-7 kids that were going to Luton to play because Cologne home we didn't have a team, so that's like okay.
Sometimes you add Hamer to that mix, and that's one team.
I mean, that's what it is now. That's how it kind of is now. Like the River Road, one team, Highway 90 is another. It's like, I think if I'm correct, I know it's supposed to be like 4 teams. I don't know exactly how they're doing it now, but so that was kind of my thing, trying to make me get into coaching because I want okay, I'm gonna help these kids out. I'm gonna coach, do what I gotta do. So I mean, we have any plans? I know, Luquette was trying to. He started off. Any plans to try to make sure that you're trying to link that recreation to middle school to high school pipeline because that was the formula back in the day.
Yep.
From rec, everybody played rec. Man, I remember when I was in middle school, we got off at Landry. We got off of football practice at Landry and went practice for recreation.
Right.
So you're having the plans that you thought about in the plans to try and link them all back together on the West Bank side.
Sure. So I'll work backwards. Tomorrow I'm going to talk to both the middle schools. Because I think one of the big things from what I've heard is some kids thinking and talking about leaving. And going to play at different places, whether it be private schools or other public schools. So I'm going to hit, second day on the job, I want to make sure they know that they're a priority, those 8th graders and the younger ones as well. But I want to get in there, talk to Coach Gales and Coach Fauché at JB Martin, go and hit them tomorrow morning. As far as the rec, I was happy to see it back. I went, they played a lot of the games at Destrehan and Hahnville, and I went out there on Saturdays. I thought it was a kick to watch those kids get back after it. I saw a lot of former players like you guys, like Cripolano had the Mimosa team. and it was a kick watching them. I was like, you don't remember when I used to fuss you the same way, because he would get off, a kid would go the wrong way and he'd look like he wanted to grab the helmet and the face mask, and he'd be fussing. I said, oh, you did the same thing back in 8th grade. Yeah. So I thought it was awesome that the rec's back. It seems like they are really trying hard to get it going like it was, and it was a lapse after COVID and Ida. And they said,
I'm about to say that we kind of put the fire on them. We had a show about it, man.
So y'all did it. Thank you, because it was awesome to see it back out.
Yeah, they tagged us. The next week they tagged us in the post.
We kind of put a fire on them, because, like I said, when I coached, man, this time we were playing at ankle high grass. And I'm the coach. I'm sitting there with a close game. I'm having to ask the referee, was the time, because the scoreboard's not working. I'm like, man, I remember when I was young, the grass was cut. The fields were painted. We had scoreboard, everything. So, and we kind of brought that up on our podcast one night. And the St. Charles Herald guy ended up posting it on their Facebook page. And next week, man, they took off. So, I mean, I'm happy for it too. So, and I think, like I said, I think that's a big part in bringing Hahnville back. We got to give these kids.
The crowds were impressive on Saturday mornings. Sometimes the weather was terrible, and they still had people with the umbrellas and the. And
I think that was the thing too, because they changed it. The game used to be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I thought that was so weird. Yeah. So they changed that, because, like I say, I had kids, man. When I was coach 7 and 8, our games were on Tuesdays. I had kids to where, when we had that Monday practice, I had kids who carried. So at the time, they were in religion. It means the last 15, 20 minutes of practice. So, and I'm happy that they changed it back to Saturdays. Yeah.
Saturday mornings, I think it's a good time, because everybody knows. Look, travel baseball did a good job with that for years. Everything was centered on the weekends, and I think that's a good formula. Everybody knows Saturday morning. You can go watch it. You can help coach it. The talent level was actually very high. I was very impressed with the talent level from both sides, considering it had been, and I know a lot of the kids were going other places and playing, and you could tell they had been playing the flag and the 7-on-7, the 12-year-olds. But the talent was there, and I know the middle schools on the West Bank have some talent right now. I've watched enough, and again, I'm not going to start naming names because I'll forget some, but I know the ones I need to talk to, the ones I need to focus on. I've been given a list of names by both the middle schools. And it's, not just them, but some kids that have talked about going to open houses and other places. And I've talked to some parents already.
And they'll be honestly, when it comes to that, it don't be them kids necessarily, it be them parents pushing that narrative right there to them.
I agree.
I mean, do you blame them?
I don't know. I don't blame them. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, some of these parents don't. Let's just stab this. Some of them parents don't really be knowing sports like that and football like that. They just go off what they hear from others and stuff. But if I know sports, if I know football, and I know that situation that my kid is about to go into is not the best situation, then of course I'm going to look somewhere else.
Do his best.
So Sean, no, you can speak, Coach. Say what you were saying.
No, I was just saying, do what's best for your kid. It's your kid. You got to do what you think is right.
So
it's our job to provide something that they want to send their kid to.
Want to stay for.
Sean, you kind of gave me the baton to the next question, because the next question is going to be, you have the job. We know Hahnville High is a high-profile job that's been, under the spotlight for the past few years. So, and that's going to be a thing that you have to deal with. So, how do you feel like you're dealing with the helicopter parents, the stadium coaches? Now, I ain't gonna lie, Coach. Everybody does it. I am sometimes too. I mean, the coach, why are we doing this? But I was like, listen, and I was about to say that. So I was like that too until I started coaching, and then I started coaching, and I'm sitting there and hearing in the back, and I'm turning around like, do you really know your kid? Like, you know what's going on? You know why your kid's not doing this? So how you kind of dealing with that? Because I'm telling you, your first few years, it's going to be a lot of chatter because the seat is hot right now.
I should go into the other room and get my wife and let her come answer that question, because she braves the home side a couple times a year. Through the years, she's going less and less. Because look, I'm one of the most criticized people in the parish if things are not going right on a Friday night. Even with the six, we won 90% of our games at that point, and I know I was getting crushed in this thing. You hear it. You can't.
I heard that. I definitely heard it.
He was talking bad about you.
I've been dealing with that at that level. You know, like I said, Coach Robichaux, Coach Scott do a real good job of buffering it. But it's still something you're talking about somebody's kid. So you have to be willing to listen. You know, I don't think playing time is something that should be discussed. That's kind of the old school part. But, you know, if you telling me your kid says I wronged them in some way, if I did something that hurt them, then definitely I think that needs to be open for discussion. You know, that would be something that hurt me, you know, and I said in the interview, I changed the way I coach when I watch my kids come up playing sports, when I watch different coaches interact with my kids certain ways, some positive, some negative, you know. And then I was fortunate enough, my son played football and baseball for 2 years at Destrehan, and I was fortunate enough to coach him football. And again, that kind of change, you know, I wouldn't want somebody to treat my son like that. So I would, you know, I used to be kind of a win at all costs, win no matter what. Now I kind of realize that doing right by kids, treating kids right, being fair, you know, those go a long way with kids. Kind of like Shotty said, they gotta trust you. You know, they gotta believe that you have their best interest. And that sometimes that's a fine line because there's people on the outside or at home that are saying, "Oh man, they trying to get over on you." You know, and that's part of the profession. But at the end of the day, if you build that trust and if you communicate with the parents, look, they're going to be given a fair chance. Make sure they're at practice. Make sure they're on time. Let's, you know, help us out, meet us halfway. Then I think the battle is already won. You know, because again, those are life skills. That's not just football skills. That's life skills.
I used to have my like my old little saying, I got a rule. Me, don't come to me talking about what your kid told you unless you want to bring your ass at practice and watch him. All right, you see what I see. You come out there, you watch it. Then after that, if we see two different things, then we'll sit there and talk about it. I don't care. I be telling parents that. Me, look, don't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
You come watch your kid at practice and see how it is and see what he's not doing, and you gotta yell at him. He the last one walking out. He the only one that got white socks on with everybody wearing black. Like, listen, look here.
Those little things matter. You know
it. It's all done. Little.
So, Coach, man, listen. So we kind of went over everything, man. You're here, like you said. We coming.
I'm excited.
Like you know, listen. Like I said, myself, I didn't know too much about you. I knew who you were. I knew you were one of us, but I knew you were at Destrehan. So, but you're here, man. And like as I said, I know a couple people that you're really cool with. That I'm really cool with. People that's kind of, you know, my mentors that I talk to, and I've heard all good things about you. So we backing you, man. Like we behind you, bro. We want you to flip it around because we tired. We tired. We is tired, boss. We tired of losing. You know. So, but like I said, man, you here. You playing on? You know, you played what the early '90s. You were at Hahnville, right?
I was more late '80s. But I was more, I don't know if y'all did y'all research. I had a nickname when I was at Hahnville, and it wasn't a football related. Late 80s. So look, I could shoot the three.
Yeah.
My nickname was Larry Bird.
That's my first love. My first love basketball. All I do is shoot. I can't get you half court, none of that. I can shoot though.
Just shoot, yep.
So listen. So it's two things, man. You know, we kind of the area for the streets. We're the area for the people on the west bank of parish. Do you plan on bringing any old school traditions back, Hahnville traditions?
You know, we talked about that. Maybe something down the line. We got a few things that we're gonna keep under wraps.
We want Tiger Pride. We got to bring that Tiger Pride back, man. Like ain't nothing. The kids don't know.
You gonna be the first one in the middle?
Man, listen. If you need me,
that'll make him. You know, yeah.
Listen, hold on.
We might do that as a fundraiser. We might see who would bid the most to be in the middle for the first game.
I don't know if you have any relationship with Coach Van. Coach Van will tell you, but I was a captain my junior and senior, and I was the guy in the middle of the circle my senior year at Tiger Pride. You know, so just from all the old school guys I know who are still very invested in Hahnville High School, we want Tiger Pride. So we can't bring back Tiger Pride.
Look, one thing we talked about that. One thing we said is that we're going to explain it to them first. We're going to explain to them the importance of it and not just do it. You know what I'm saying? We want that man in the middle to be everything that we've talked about tonight, everything we've been talking about the kids for the last week or so. We want it to be meaningful when we do it, not just do it to say we're bringing it back. You know, we want it to be somebody that in the off season has earned the right to be in the middle. Maybe not just one guy, 2, 3, 4, whatever, one each week. But we want it to be meaningful, and I think that's important.
Something I think you should do, Coach. The last time Hahnville won a game is won a state championship is in 2003. What I think you should do, man, sit those kids down and let them watch that 2003 state championship.
I love it. I love it.
If you need it, I got it.
Like you said, that's a motivator. When you see your colors, your team colors in that dome, I've been fortunate. I've been able to coach in the dome 4 times, and I don't take any of them for granted.
What they did, what they don't have that we did though, is we still got the amount of people in the dome for that state.
I know, and that's what I was about to say. So
we got that record though.
So I was about to say, even with that, like I said, my nephew graduated in 2020. He was there for years, and I showed my nephew some pictures just of when I was there, and we played in St. John. And I showed him the stadium. I'm like, bro, listen, like look at this, look at the stadium, look at the track. I'm like, I'm coming to your games at 6:50, and I'm walking straight up to a seat. I say, back when I played, bro, if you was there 6:15, guess what? You was on that track. So I think you let them see that state championship DVD. You let them see.
Be on River Road at 2:15.
Everybody knows who, man. Exactly. Exactly. But just let them see the old school Hahnville High School and just how things are. Just them seeing their uncle or their Kyrie, daddy, or older cousins. I think that'll help them out. But
I agree.
One more thing before we get out of here, man. One more thing that the people are longing for at Hahnville. And I know this isn't on you. But you got to do your best, man. We want tailgating. We need tailgating, man. I know that's kind of out of you.
You're not allowed to tailgate at Hahnville.
No way.
I know.
You got it only towards the front by 90.
Not even. Let's do it up.
I'll definitely see what we can do. It's a little different setup than Destrehan. You right there about
I know what the issue is. I kind of had the conversation. The kind of issue like the open fire and things of that sort. But we can work so much. I know you're probably paying attention. Everybody in the River Parish now is kind of doing the homecoming thing, and I think that'll help. Yeah, I think that'll help a lot too. Bring a lot of people back for homecoming. Fill the stadium up. So that's the thing we've tried. People been on me for like the past 2 years, like, man, you try and set it up, you try and do it, and I'm like, man, it's kind of hassle. So I even talking way back when Coach Lemar was the principal, and I talked to him about it, and we tried to do some 1 year. But I mean, I know it's a little out of your hand, but look, if you can, man,
we'll definitely feel it out. The higher ups, they might know the reason why, and we can try to work with it. I know we're gonna y'all ask about, this is obviously the anniversary of the '94. 30-year anniversary of the '94 state championship. So we definitely will have something in the works for that group, probably around homecoming. Okay. Yeah. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, but Coach, we appreciate you, man. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. Like I say, man, listen, we're behind you. Y'all coaching. Like Tio said, man, that's our quarterback. So y'all coach, man. We behind you. We hope you can flip it and bring us back to our glory days. We appreciate you for being here tonight.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right.